Mega Man Relay Race is going to feature Shoka and Zaraki playing Mega Man 2. There you go, you can see more info about them right there. Pretty much what I just said, actually. All right, I think we are live.
Hello, hello.
Welcome back, everybody. We got some comfy Dragon Quest coming up. And with Dragon Quest, we have a new prize during this block, which is starting this run and going until... Oh, I just closed the tab. Going until Jetman later on tonight. You can donate $5 to be entered into the raffle to win a Dragon Quest 1 and 2 cart. So it's one cart that has both games on it. Pretty cool if you ask me, because Dragon Quest is real cool.
I love me some Dragon Quest 2 also, so it's definitely a good deal.
Yeah,
2 for 1.
We all run both of those games. And that's why you know we're madmen, is because we run Dragon Quest 2.
All right. Well, I think the stream is actually set up and ready to go. If you guys are all ready, if you want to just give me a countdown, we can start the comfy Dragon Quest.
Alrighty. In that case, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Dragon Quest 1.
Good luck, Star.
Get him.
Thank you. Time to put in my narcissistic name so I can get all the bad luck in the world.
That's right. So, as with all versions of the original Dragon Quest, your stat growth archetype is determined by the name you put in. So certain names, certain combinations of letters give us the strength HP growth type, which is what we need. So that one that Suta has picked out for himself will work for this.
The only issue with this name is that it's actually cursed, but I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine. He's a very skilled runner. He can deal with the terrible luck that this name brings. Literally everyone who has ever used it. And, see, people are asking what Dragon Loop is. This is
Rabbit,
more
just
or
because
less.
the name rejected you doesn't mean that it's bad.
You spent a year trying to use it. You switched to Bopo once and you PB'd. I don't want to hate.
Yeah, that's all right. Fair. Anyway, tell them what Dragon Loop is.
Yeah, Dragon Loop is the non-manipulation category and is the main race category. And the princess is in a cave being guarded by a dragon. In the NES version, it's not really worth it to go do anything with that dragon because you already know where the token is. In this version, the dragon is worth 950 experience, which makes it the second highest experience you can get from anything. And we can also force it to respawn, so we're going to make it keep coming back by using the princess's bridge building material. We're going to build a nice bridge through a swamp out of her dead bodies, and she's going to reappear back in the cave. The dragon's going to reappear, we're going to punch it 7 times, and then we'll actually come around for an 8th one right at the end of the game to give us some bonus experience.
Yeah, so there are a couple of different ways of gaining experience. The dragon loop, which is what we call repeatedly defeating this dragon over and over again, is one of the ways we can level up very efficiently from roughly level 11 to level 15. That's how long we're going to do this for. There are a couple other categories that are differentiated. There is a frame manipulation category called silver heart hunting, which involves using the silver heart to force encounters with metal slime instead of fighting dragon. But we won't be using that technique in this run. It's just going to be the dragon loop. So right now we stopped by in the we stopped by in the town. We picked up the club, the dragon scale, and some supplies for the journey. Star's going to hit level 2 before he moves on to fight the monsters in the more difficult zone on the way towards Myra.
I guess saying who we are is probably not a terrible idea.
Oh, we didn't do that, did we?
My good friend over here is twitch.tv/sumdiener, and I am twitch.tv/lavitz951.
Greetings, yes. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Hope you're enjoying JRTA Marathon.
So a little thing I've been doing during this kind of like wandering in the beginning here as I go towards Myra in the east is to actually count my experience before I cross over certain zones so that I'll be able to actually take what's next.
Right. So we saw him earlier get to level 2 before he moved over the encounter line where the ghosts will start appearing. Once we're level 2, Ghost is actually much more manageable, although he still hits for up to 4 damage.
He can be pretty bad if you're under certain HP levels.
But we're going to try and get close to level 3 or at level 3 before moving on to... Looks like Star's gone ahead and gone right through here. He's going to heal up before he gets into a stronger fight.
That's a mistake. Let's hope it isn't. Okay.
I'm sure it's fine.
So he's using the torches as an item in battle here to
yeah, that's something that they added with this remake. Was when you toss a torch, it'll do between 4 and 6 damage to an enemy. Yep, so we use it to beat up on a scorpion or a Magidraki. Nope. Okay. That's right. Let's all make sure I remember to bring Lord of the Dragon Lord later.
Yes, thanks so much to everybody who donated to make sure we satisfied the incentive here. To make sure we're going to take Princess Laura with us when we go fight the Dragon Lord at the end of the game. Hopefully she won't slow us down too much.
No, she's going to help us out. Every time I take Laura, I get put to sleep a lot less, and that's really good.
She doesn't help me out against the axe, trust me.
Nothing can help you against the axe knight.
So here we are in Myra. He picked up the clothes and the strength seed out of the dresser. The strength seed is really important. There are 2 of these strength stat seeds hidden in the game, and they roll between 1 and 3 strength. We're going to make sure to re-roll these until we get a total of at least 5 on the 2 of them.
Rolled up a 3, cursed name once again.
Yep, first try 3, so Star's ready to move on. That means he'll only need to roll a 2 or a 3 on the other one, but if he rolls a 1, he's going to reset and try again. He's going to save right before he uses it, So there's a few other stat seeds, HP, MP, defense, agility, and they can roll various values. We don't necessarily care too much about what they roll. Higher is generally always better, but it's not as important. Star's gonna get some gold in order to get supplies to do the Rocky Mountain Cave. So he's going to want to get to level 4, where he learns Gira, the fireball spell, and he'll be able to use it to hunt 2 monsters in the harder encounter zone instead of using torches.
Alright. As of that Draki, I am 8 experience to level. Ghost. Ghost.
Yeah, make sure you donate that $5 so that you can join us in Dragon Quest speedrunning. This game is super duper comfy for racing. Very easy to learn. There's like 20 of us who will swarm you to give you information and get you started.
And there's lots
You'll have more information than you know what to do with, I promise.
And there's lots of players in our community of all different skill levels. You know, some players who only run it once or twice, some players who are much more competitive with it.
There's level 4.
Alright. Star reaching level 4. Now he learns that Gira spell, like I said, and he can use it 2 times for MP. So that's why we wanted to get to level 3 before we died.
Scorpion friend! Yay!
Aw, so tasty.
Scorpion Oishi. Sasori Oishi. Oh, there we go. It's a nice couple of fights.
Get 2 quick ones. The one thing we really don't want to see is Magician, because Magician is worth half as much experience as the Scorpion is, but we still have to gear it, and that's not good. We want all of the experience we can get.
Usually you end up with enough gold for your supplies. If not, if you do end up fighting 2 magicians, that I would suggest fighting like Drakis or Ghosts on your way to town, just to make sure you get a little extra. Should be okay for Star though. Killed the Scorpion. Kirin-Garai. First checkpoint is sort of just under 8 minutes. It's a good, pretty reasonable start. He's going to rest up for the Rocky Mountain Cave. He's going to fill up on supplies. He's going to buy 6 medical herbs and torches so that his inventory is full. This is important for getting an item in the cave, the Death Necklace. There's a treasure chest that the Death Necklace is in, but it's only inside of it when you open it. It's a 1 in 16 chance. The other 15 out of 16 times, it's a Taimatsu torch. If our inventory is full, it's going to let us open the box and look in it. If it's the Death Necklace, we can keep it, and if it's a torch, we can close the lid on the box and then open it again. As long as our inventory is full, it asks us if we want to discard something before we actually take the item. So we can sort of abuse this mechanic to continually check the treasure chest and force it to eventually give us the Death Necklace. It may take a long time and make it something that happens right away. The consequence here is that we've got to get to that treasure chest, which is on the 2nd floor, with a full inventory, meaning we're not allowed to use a torch. We'll have to navigate this little part of the cave in the darkness.
Who rolls 5 damage on a ghost at level 4?
And with 3 on strength seed.
Plus, yeah, I know. Plus 3 strength.
The tiniest little baby hero.
He's saving the big hits for when it matters.
He'll be level 5 soon.
And then he'll still hit it for 5. Or he'll just miss.
Given that, I'm just going to haul off and swing against the Scorpion and... Or not Scorpion, Skeleton Kaishin.
Still not kill it.
Perfect.
Yeah, we got some nice victory toots. Level 5 is not particularly important, but it's really nice, and the sooner you can get it, the better. You want those strength increases. You want the extended max HP before you have to do any healing.
Exactly, yeah, that was the other thing I was going to mention. Whenever you level up before you have to heal, that's always good. You'll get more out of your healing, and your max HP is higher.
We're pretty limited on resources. After this, we actually have to go to the town to buy the sword, and we don't want to have to stop in town to get more herbs. We only have so much MP. We also need to kill things, which takes MP until we get to the other town to buy our fancy new weapon.
Mm-hmm. That being said, he'll probably use his medical herbs where he needs to make sure he doesn't die. That's more important. Even if you go through this cave and have no herbs left at all, that's better than dying.
Yeah, depending on your resources after this cave is over, you can take one of a couple of different routes to Remulder when you need to later to minimize the impact of monsters on your way down, or so you actually just survive in the first place, because if you run into too many wolves, you're gonna die.
Yeah, you spend less time in the wolf encounter zone and more time in, like, you can encounter monsters as strong as Warlock.
you guys have time for a quick donation real quick?
Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go for it.
We have $15 from Ramses88, who says one word, pantsu. Which means that the incentive to get Curly's panties in Cave Story is now at $70 out of $250. And that run is at early in the morning, so sometime later on tonight. I believe it's around 4 o'clock. But if you've ever seen Cave Story, it's one of the most entertaining runs to watch. And
I like
it's
that game.
very comfy. So if you're going to be awake, make sure you donate to get that incentive met, because it's going to be pretty great. Everybody likes pantsu.
Wizard. Not yet.
Stars
Oh,
Man
look.
is
It's my arch nemesis. That guy killed me more than anything else in the game.
Stars made his way down to B2. The monster formations are much stronger here. Although he's saved 2 MP, so there might be a couple of different guys he might want to try and fight.
I'm ready for the warlock kill. Post drinks you get.
Here's the Death Necklace treasure chest I talked about earlier. Keep looking box again and again until he finds what he's looking for.
This is, again, 1 in 16 chance, and there's nothing we can do without this money. It's worth 1,200 gold, which is a massive amount.
It's going to pay for practically all of our weapons, so a weapon we'll use for nearly the whole run. Very important we get this thing, so no matter how long it takes, keep checking.
Yeah.
19.
Nice.
Alright, not terrible.
Slightly worse than average. And yeah, when it comes to equipment in this game, we don't get too much. We have clothes right now and a club. We're gonna end up with a steel sword and chainmail, and then we're just gonna have the best weapons and the best weapons.
Don't forget the next treasure chest coming up here is the iron shield in it, which
that we never replace.
the only shield we use the entire game. The silver shield is better, but too expensive and not worth it. Hey, nice warlock kill there. He's worth a lot of it. But for now, with no resources left, Star will just have to keep running and healing until...
Would I wash any wash done?
Good old Dracula just sitting there like, I'm going to kill you with physicals.
You
Aren't
can
you
do that
fresh?
if you're naked. If you're naked, Drachima is a world-class fighter.
When he's not healing himself turn 1, maybe.
Reminds me of big
Whenever you want to die in this game, everything just wants to sit there and heal itself. It's amazing.
or put you to sleep. Alright, so he's grabbed the iron shield, and there's a couple more of those stat seeds, the other strength seed and the MP seed. The first of 3 we get.
3 on the MP seed.
That's the lowest.
Oh boy.
Won't be a problem unless he rolls 3 on the other 2 as well.
Alrighty, decent cave.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Like 15 and change, I'll take that.
Classic transportation method in Dragon Quest. The Death Warp sends us back to the castle where we can save and check out this strength seed.
3!
2 3s, first
Nice.
try. That's the
Yo,
max,
that's
that's
some
great.
high experience, too. I've got 22 to level.
Yeah, you killed that warlock, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Had a lot of fights on the outside, too. I mean, you hit level 5 before that cave, you're pretty high on experience already.
Mm-hmm. Scorpion, 2 Magidrakies, no wizards.
I have a decent amount of herbs. I want to say I have 3 left. And 17 MP. So, it's not great, but
You could do either at your experience level and shape. Either path.
I think as long as I conserve MP and inside the Marsh Cave, that taking the
you
aggressive route is fine.
Yeah,
like I
you
can just
always-
walk metas to death because losing any HP in this cave is basically a non-issue. Like the only thing that can really hurt you is Gira from mages. Now that you have the Iron Shield, and then you're usually going to clobber them before they really get a chance to do too much damage to you that way. And that's even if I see any encounters in here.
Yeah, you can really hold off on heal.
I can run into Scorpion where I have to cast Gira, but that's not a problem to me either.
Still totally
Tasty enough to be worth it.
Yeah. Alright, this meta we're going to thwack to death, even if it's a little slower, because I want to conserve that MP. But he can only do like 3 damage to me now, thanks to Iron Shield Chen. And there's level 6, because I was a ridiculously close amount.
Yeah, on average, it'll take a couple fights after this cave, but getting the Warlock kill is very, very, very convenient.
We definitely want to hit level 6 and then some before we reach Rimmel. It's a little above average on experience for the run, but that's totally fine. That's actually can be a good thing.
Yeah, your experience for the first half is pretty much going to be determined entirely by how nice your encounters are to you. Ricanto!
The wolf.
Any experience right now is totally bonus too, basically, so that's nice. Let's see.
Wolf hits very hard and very fast at this level, but as long as we're fully healed, we just throw fire.
Considering my MP total right now, I'll actually cast heal so I can save on shopping.
Yeah, your experience will be fine.
Yeah, I'm just gonna blast this wizard and go ahead inside, so I'm just gonna gear it twice, even though it's unnecessary.
You won't miss.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't forget, guys, if you find this run interesting and you feel the urge that I want to speedrun Dragon Quest as well, I want to learn this game, then you can donate $5 right now to be entered into raffle to win a cart that has both Dragon Quest 1 and 2 on it. You can become the next Dragon Quest Pro.
1, 2, 3.
Alright, here we've reached Rimmeldar's important place. This is the only town that sells keys that isn't behind a locked door, so this is where we've gotta come to get our first keys. There's a few other things Star's gonna be doing in town, grabbing a couple of items, stocking up, resupplying his medical herbs, selling that death
my
necklace.
clothes in my club.
Getting rid of our old equipment because we're gonna be getting new stuff now. We're selling off the death necklace we worked so hard to get, and we're going to use that money to buy the steel sword we used for almost the rest of the run.
Let's see, so yeah, 2 herbs left, so I need to buy 3 here. I'll pick up another herb in the castle that we're going to head back to real shortly. Five HP. A little thing that I did with the club at the beginning and the steel sword that I just bought is I didn't actually equip them because at the times you get steel sword and the club, there's going to be a second piece of equipment that you need to equip also. So it's faster to not go through the extra dialogue that the shopkeep gives you, and to just equip it via the menu when you're ready to actually do so.
Yeah, whenever there are 2 or more items we have to equip at the same time, it's faster just to go in the menu and equip them all at once manually rather than with the extra dialogue. We'll see that in a few other instances as well. The menus in this game are a little slower. There are a couple instances where using items or spells in battle is going to turn out to be faster than outside of battle.
Okay, I'll see that pretty soon actually, since I've got an HP seed now from the old man's drawer that
It's a perfect
don't
example.
need to use yet. And I don't need to equip my sword for the walk to Garai because it's full of ghosts and slimes and crap.
Slime, yeah. He's going to get a fight with a slime, and he'll use his stat seed in that battle rather than using it in the menu.
Yeah, that was a gold stone of sunlight for me.
Nice.
Apparently. This is moving along pretty nice. Can't wait to die to Dragon Lord.
Didn't you have Rimuldar in too? Seems kind of silly to have splits for both of those.
I don't actually have Remolder in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
it
use Stone
goes
of
from
Sunlight.
Mountain Cave to Stones of Sunlight.
Alright, let's punch this Draki because I hate it.
Poor Draki.
Make sure
Punch
to
me.
share the stream on social media and stuff too. You guys can retweet the tweet. Here, I'll link it in chat, and then host the stream. Spread the word. Even if you can't donate, you can always help get more people around.
Alright, time to buy chainmail. And time
Nice
to
little girl.
impress the innkeeper.
So that little girl
Throwing all my
there
equipment in front of her.
is pretty notorious
Oh god.
for being evil. I had her the other day actually be sitting there and shopping at the weapon and armor shop. So I had to wait like 15 seconds for her to finish her shopping so I could actually continue. And that was really fun. I appreciated that.
Somebody throw up a star no. Need an exclamation
There we
point. There you go.
I was
It's
just
the
about
only
to go
emote
on.
that has an exclamation.
Yeah, I should probably change it. But I don't care, so.
It's
I
fine.
think it's fine. The
It's
way
important.
Yeah, I mean, you need the emphasis because it's there.
But NPCs in this game are very, very evil, to the point that the randomized version of this has people just locked in rooms. It has the old man on the way into this tomb is actually in the water, which
Just taking a
adds
swim,
for,
it's fine.
for some real fun during the credits, where he's actually in his proper position, but he's also in the water.
he's still in the water.
Alright, so there is an HP seed, which I'll just use now.
So
I
as
pulled about 500 gold and a key.
we saw, we stocked up on new weapons and armor. And we have keys, so we come back here to Garai to do Garai's tomb, where the silver harp is located. This is a quest item we need to get the Staff of Rain in order to get to the Dragon Lord's castle, ultimately. So, here we are, gonna go get that. He's gonna pretty much just be stabbing him here on this first floor. On the second floor, the encounters are gonna be changing a little bit. They're still gonna be perfectly fightable. Star's going to be looking to reach level 7 and learn Rariho, Sleep Spell, before moving on to B3, where the monster formation, or the monsters that can show up, again, change to much harder enemies. But 2 of them are quite vulnerable to sleep. 2 of them are fightable pretty much just fine no matter what, and one of them, the Wraith Knight, is basically run away or die. We hope he doesn't show up until after we get the harp and we're ready to death warp again.
Yeah, I don't really need that guy around.
No, we don't ever want to see that guy. I guess after we get Roto's armor, big deal, but...
Even then, it's like you're indifferent.
Yeah, I know, it's just kind of like distractions on the way to where you really are trying to get. He's worth a decent amount, but he's no shadow.
Just a little thing with handling that wolf, since I've been just double slashing through everything so far. But the wolf has just enough HP that it's better for me to use a Gira for at least 1 hit, so I can virtually guarantee killing it with a higher damage roll on one of those hits.
Yeah, his chance of killing it with 2 physical attacks is quite low, but with 1 physical and 1 Gira at that level, chance is quite high. Not guaranteed.
And here's our good friend, Iron Scorpion, who not only does he also require us to use Gira, he can defend, and then that's really, really obnoxious. We would really prefer if he would just never, ever defend.
Yeah. Steel Sword will at least keep us from having to use a torch, which we don't have. Alright, we're on 3rd floor.
Roll Magi.
Heal up. Yeah, this is one of those guys we can use sleep on. He's pretty slow too, so as long as the sleep lands, the fight should...
If the sleep doesn't land, though, and he decides to follow your example, it can get a little bit scary.
Yeah, that is very true.
I've been put to sleep and killed by him on a few occasions, and it's not fun.
Any monster that has sleep spell in this game, rough.
I've also tried to die off of one, and it spammed sleep for 3 turns, and it failed every turn.
Okay.
And Wolf is super tasty. All of the Wolf enemies also have a 100% chance to sleep, which is very, very convenient.
All 3 types, the regular blue wolf, the wolf protector, this red one here, as well as the killer wolf, the yellow one, is going to be coming up later.
I am elated that one of the Japanese runners, his name's Araki. I
That's
noticed that, and I was
one of the first
so
things
pleased.
I noticed.
Well, here's the thing. Obviously, if we're trying to benefit him, he's not a Blizzard, which means
Right,
he's
exactly.
good Zaraki. If his name was like Blizzard Zaraki, then I would have other words for him. But because in DQ2, again, all 3 of us run DQ2 as well. Zaraki is the instant kill spell that hits an entire group, and there's an enemy at the end of the game that likes to use that. It has like a 30-something% chance. In the NES version, it's 50-50, which is terrifying. And it can just wipe out your entire party and just send you back to start, and that's not fun.
Don't forget Dragon Quest III, my boy the Balrog. He's
Oh, yeah,
he's
lovely
also got
Balrog.
Zaraki. And I just love that guy too.
And he can come with archmages who will revive him if you kill him.
Oh, don't even remind me of that formation. Alright, so Stars,
Friend Mr.
yeah.
Wolf.
he's collected as much experience as he can, and now he's dead. But that's fine. Next up is one of the real exciting parts of Dragon Quest I run, the Golem Walk. So we talked about the Dragon mini-boss being worth a lot of experience. The Golem is actually worth the most experience in this version. He's not worth 6. No, he's worth 2,500. And he's worth so much experience that for our route, the best strategy we have is to make sure we get to the Golem and defeat him at the soonest time it's in any way realistic, which is, for us, it's going to be at level 8. So Star's going to work his way over to level 8 on the way towards the Golem, and he's going to be trying to get his way through basically the most dangerous overworld enemy in the game at a time he really shouldn't be there. But we're going to make some handy use of the sleep spell and healing spells. Medical are crossing our fingers on the run luck a little bit too. So
Let's talk about the half-step technique, actually. That's a
Oh,
really important
right.
part.
It
It's
comes
more
into-
important here than anywhere else.
He's been utilizing this a lot, but if you see him walking, whenever he's walking up or down and he goes into impassable terrain like these mountains or the edge of the coast, the game will actually force you around the edge automatically. Kind of hard to explain, but you just have to hold down, for instance, and it'll push you over around the corner of the thing. The game is also deciding when we handling random encounters by decreasing a number each time you move up over the overworld, and when it reaches 0, you get a fight. These half steps over these corners using this half tile technique actually don't advance that counter. So those steps will not give us random battles and will actually help us get further along on average in between battles. So we'll be able to cover more ground with fewer encounters. There's a lot of spots we can use the half tile technique along the way to the Golem. And we really, really do not want to face any monster unless it's the Metal Slug. That's rare.
And half-stepping also does other things. Like, if we were walking on damage tiles, you can actually half-step and not take damage. It doesn't matter that much in this game. It does quite a bit more for you in Dragon Quest II. But no, don't do it. Armor Knight.
Oh,
I was pondering sleep on the second turn, and I really just don't like to cast it that early. So I
Yeah.
didn't.
that's understandable.
I had 3 run
Fairly early
chances.
And it's only
The,
a 10% more
yeah.
chance. And on the third run chance, it's actually 15% less. He has a 60% to go to sleep. Our run chances are 50-50, 75-75.
It's 85 to go to sleep for that guy.
Yeah, it's
Is it?
higher.
I thought he was
Yep.
60.
Yeah, it's higher for him. Yeah, 50%.
That's not too bad of a problem anyway. Like, I died really, really early, so
That was another reason.
if I was gonna die, then that's fine.
Another
there.
reason why just trying to run it. It's a good good play there for that part. If
And
you're a
now
little
he
bit further along, you really want to stretch your resource.
and now he gets his level 8 MP for the next walk. So,
Mhm.
and if he dies again, he just resets. Doesn't have to worry too much about it.
Yeah, he's free to try and use whatever resources he wants. Many medical herbs. Hopefully, he'll have no problems making it through this time.
All right, real quick, guys. We as you might have seen in the chat there, we're just $300 away from halfway to reaching the goal, and it's only the first night. But it would be super awesome to see us get to that 3,700 mark, right about, which is the halfway mark, before the end of this run, which I think is about, correct me if I'm wrong, like an hour and 15 minutes.
An hour and 15 minutes would be
No,
well.
to the end from here, yeah, about an hour 15 more from here.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, from where we are now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
115 though is actually the world record that Twitch Pop has, our good Japanese friend. Except that's level 17 Dragonlord, which has about a 5 to 10% chance of working. So we don't do that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, for
Level
racing
18
and
is huge.
no reset marathon style, level 18 is the way to go. In fact, for any real sanity's sake, I'm an expert player. Would not recommend bother level 17 dragon. Our chances of making it through the castle and defeating it, poor to say the least. But at level 18 with this chart, it's actually going to be a much better.
It's super stable.
There's a huge difference in strength and HP, maximum HP,
no
going
Kishi,
from
please.
level 17 to 8.
That's 2.
Ooh. Shadow Knight.
We really, really hate him. Even later on, he has such a high evasion rate that he's just super obnoxious, and you can sit there and just swing at him. He'll die in one hit, but when you swing at him like 8 times and you just keep missing, it's not fun.
Yeah. He's pretty much the worst guy to see in this whole segment. He can kill you in 2 hits if he gets good damage rolls like that, and we have no
His
way
chance of getting good damage rolls is also very high.
Yeah, compared to the other monsters, yeah, he hits harder. He
He's
doesn't.
one of the only things in that area that can roll up over 30 damage.
Yeah, he hits.
And as you can see, my top HP actually isn't. No, I didn't get very good HP rolls, did I? I
No.
got 59.
Almost
59 is. It's not that bad.
I mean, yeah, it could be worse. But
I think.
actually, isn't that close to minimum?
Trying to think. I think.
Above, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think you have 14.
I'm pretty sure it's 57 to 63 or 62, one of those. I know I average right around 60, 61.
Those spreadsheets that show you your chances of dealing with Dragonlord at different levels with different builds based on different parameters that are based on something like 3 million simulation fights. I'm just gonna kill this skeleton because
sure
I hate it.
Pretty sure I failed at like a 98% chance of defeating the Dragonlord last night.
It had to be high.
With the amount of MP I had, it was insane.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting there getting back attacked and put to sleep for 5 turns.
Dragonlord.
Gotta love failing a coin flip 5 turns in a row.
Dragonlord soaked up some of that marathon's extra time.
I'm pretty sure somebody paid him, like, we're too far ahead. We just need you to just slap Lavitz a few times. Can't let him have a 147 and have his first good marathon run. Give him that 220.
Eat up a half an hour of our time, yeah. So it was great.
Like, I'm trying to get my time down, because it's higher than where I feel like it should be. So I've been playing more aggressive, and that's yet to actually hurt me. But then Dragonlord has just been very rude.
You gotta keep practicing.
Mm-hmm.
Keep running.
We have a $25 donation from Lee Tragan, who says, "Great to see the community come together for our friends." Thank you so much for that $25 donation. And if there's something that you'd like to put that to, one of the incentives, you can go ahead and put that in the chat or message one of the moderators.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Ooh, that was nice.
Oh, we missed.
Yeah, that rules.
That's really good. That saves
back.
3 MP. Oh no. Oh, he didn't miss that time. He got his glasses.
Stop following me! Oh no! Okay.
Oh. That's not good. But yeah, we get a lot of help from the Japanese community, and we've done a lot of races with Japanese DQ1 runners. Like Pop's obviously in chat, he's running DQ3 in this.
Hey.
And
actually use there. Okay, thanks.
He has taught us
We're good.
bajillions of things about Dragon Quest 2 that have helped us advance Dragon Quest 3. So it's nice to get to sit here and commentate and help Japanese runners. When Pop gave me a quick and dirty tutorial of DQ2 so I could be semi-competent.
Okay. We made it through the tough part here. Now that we've reached the goal, and we brought the fairy flute with us that we picked up in Myra at the beginning of the run. So in this battle, we can play the fairy flute, and then the golem will go to sleep, and he's guaranteed to stay asleep for at least one turn. So in the worst case scenario, as long as we get to the golem with enough health to survive the first blow, since he is actually faster than us at this level, like 9% of the time, we just take the first hit, and we can use the flute, and then alternate attack playing the flute. Since Star has some extra resources getting here, he's also gone ahead to healed up, so he can actually attack more time before playing the flute. And if the golem wakes up, then he'll be fine.
Nice Kaishin. 90.
Kaishin.
2.
Critical hit is very helpful to the golem.
Crits in general in this game will deal about 3 times damage. So you normally count as 3 times. In this fight, we count actually HP.
Yeah, it does.
There's other fights where I do averages, but this one, no.
It does a little bit more. In this fight, the actual mechanic of the critical hit ignores the target's defense. So against monsters like this, where the defense is very high, you see even more value from the critical hit. This is why the critical hit always defeats the metal slime.
Nice.
All right, the golem's
Not
defeated.
bad, all things considered.
Yeah, it's still under 40 minutes, so
Yeah,
2 deaths
honest,
on the walk.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I've died that many times on the Golem Walk. Golem Walk seems like this thing where, like, you don't really have a choice but to have major issues if you're going to. But there's a lot of stuff you can do to mitigate them. And I have, well, I had anyway, until this bumps it up, around a 36-minute Golem death average. Let's see.
All right, but the golem is defeated, and we've got 3 level ups to show for it, and that's going to get us strong enough to start doing the dragons in the Marsh Cave. So we'll be doing the Dragon Loop category. The namesake here, we'll be starting up that Dragon Loop. To do the Dragon Loop, we're going to put away all of our unnecessary items to make room for lots of holy water. Getting back and forth to the Marsh Cave is going to be tedious if we're constantly bothered by slime, other such ilk. So we just stock up on holy water and keep using that to keep the wimpy monsters away.
Go gadget defense seed.
Keep fighting the it's a quirk there. You can reach the dresser from further away than you think.
It's the only drawer like that in the game. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think the loot position or whatever is actually drawn to John.
Yeah, probably.
So, Dragon Loop. Yeah, there's also a defense seed and one more NP seed here. Dragon Loop is going to have us fight the dragon in the Marsh Cave for 950 experience. Then we're going to in order to get the dragon to reset, we're going to talk to Laura and take her. And then we need to die with the princess in our arms before we take her back to the castle. This will send her back to the cave and the dragon back. So we need to defeat the dragons, obviously. That makes sense. But in order to facilitate dying in the swamp faster and using less holy water, we want to finish the battle with as little HP as we can get away with. So we'll be counting damage and trying to do a little bit of turn order prediction and some fancy footwork, hopefully, to finish these fights with hopefully less than 30 hit points on each fight. Ideally, you're looking to get as low as you can, but...
Well, you want the best top end is 27.
27 or about,
for like
yeah.
these first few, because you will pretty much reliably have 27 holy water steps remaining out of the 64 that you start with by the time you enter this cave.
So as long as your HP is below 20, you should be able to finish the first leg of the dragon without running out of holy water. If you get one of them that's a little bit better than the others, then you have a little bit more wiggle room.
Nice Kaishin.
Oh.
So
Ooh.
78.
Good stuff.
Early critical hit can be good.
93.
Certain moments, particularly when the dragons are almost dead. Problem.
Yeah, you can find yourself healing up to 63 and then you crit, and you got a decent chance to outspeed the dragon, and then you're just sitting there with 60 HP wondering, like, how do I want to deal with this? It's a little bit easier in the second half, where you can just return to the castle, and there's some nice tiles we'll be using on our fourth dragon when we need to go buy keys. But it's still slower than just flopping down in the swamp and rolling around a little bit. So we don't really want to do that, but it's an available option.
Ureshu gozaimasu.
We got a couple of donations here. We have one $20 donation from Mighty Tooth, who says, "Another 20. I went to Japan when I was 12 on student exchange. My parents couldn't afford my part, so my church, my parents' coworkers, friends, and family chipped in. Here's a little payback. Let's get these folks to AGDQ." Thank you very much for your $20 donation.
Yeah, thanks so much.
If there's an incentive that you would like to put that towards, just let me know in the chat, and I'll make sure that it gets put towards that incentive. And then we have another $10 donation from Lavitz, and I'll let you read this one off.
Who the heck is that guy? I said, Pensu onegaishimasu. For obvious reasons. I like panties, so let's get the panties.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you for your $10 donation.
All right.
Dragon number 2.
Yeah, this is why we're calling it the Dragon Loop category. We're going to be doing this back and forth trip to the Marsh Cave, fighting this dragon. Total of 7 times in this part, and then we'll be fighting him one more time, an 8th time, making sure to take the princess with him. The final time.
And I'm sure that will be the final time. There will be no deaths in Charlock. Just gotta
There are
believe.
never deaths in Charlock.
There are never.
So easy. The Dragon Lord never puts you to sleep for 5 turns.
You never get killed by stone Shinigami in front of the Dragon Lord trying to heal.
You're never killed by anything in this game. So I guess... Alright, let's count. 20... 40... I love it when it's easy. 7...
Kind of funny because I keep seeing myself get quiet while he's fighting the dragons, and I should be commentating, but like, this is good practice. I actually like watching other people run because I can practice my own counting through other runs.
Yeah.
Let's make it a high one. Better high than dead.
Oh, always.
I've got extra steps from previous anyway, so that's totally fine.
Good stuff.
I see. as the Dragon Loop progresses, we'll be learning some different spells and obviously leveling up, getting more HP and strength, which is going to make this whole segment a little bit easier. We learned outside after the first dragon, to make sure we could actually get out of the cave in a timely manner. After 3 dragons, we'll have returned, so we don't have to walk out of the castle. We're also going to restock up on holy water at that point too. And then by the end of the loop, at level 15, we'll have Koherosu, which is the repel spell, which means we won't need holy water anymore. We can just start using repel. We'll also be done the dragon at that point anyway, but we'll still have plenty of walking around to do, and repel will really help us get around without time. Monsters that aren't worth it.
Hey, okay.
Are you sure you don't want to use that key? The game seems really intense on it.
I really like eating keys. If only it would let me.
No, yeah. Not going to help you heal up or avoid monsters or anything, really. Just going to help
one
you.
Of those big, like, foil-wrapped chocolate keys to the city or something, though. Like, that would help. That would heal me up right quick.
Gives you like 3
Those things are wrapped in chocolate. Those things are chocolate, right?
It'll attract the monster.
Come on. Well, attract a meta so it can run away from my awesome healing powers.
Also, we have to
there it
use
is.
Giant chocolate keys to open the doors.
That's why they break.
And then they just melt in the lock.
The key that melts in your lock, not in your hand.
Oh, great.
I've got a little conspiracy about this, because the king actually gives you a key at the beginning of the game, which would be really useful, but you have to use it to get out of the throne room, because he also locked you in the throne room. And that's where they give you your first taste. And then you've got to wait until you can actually get to Rimmeldar to ever buy keys.
At least they're affordable in this version.
Yeah, this version of the game has many quality of life improvements over the NES version.
If you're familiar with the original Dragon Warrior, I mean, obviously that's the same game, but this version completely redone and rebalanced. We've seen a lot of the changes, but yeah, that's the biggest one is that monster. A lot more experience gold. 2 to 3 times as much on average. Some monsters, a lot more than that.
Yeah, Golem is 2,500 up from 6.
Yeah,
he's
just a little better.
And he's also easier to kill in this version because of the way that sleep works.
Mm-hmm.
They have to at least have one action where they're asleep. Well, at least Golem does, and then they can wake up. Versus, you could put him to sleep and he could wake up right then and there, and then just punch you in the face and you're dead now.
Yeah,
that's not what we want. That's not convenient.
All this talk of the quality of life improvements in this version of Dragon Quest, I think it's important to remember that if you donate $5 during this block, you're entered to win a copy of the Super Famicom cartridge that has this game and Dragon Quest 2 on it.
That's the very cartridge that's being run right now by Star. So
I promise that owning that cartridge will improve your quality of life.
Definitely.
So get on it.
For just $5, yeah. $5 donation in the next few games in this block.
Two very hot speed games that can be yours for the low price of $5.
Alright,
if
I
win, I get a card for saves for DQ2, so that's useful for me. Because I need those.
Alright, so he resupplied up on holy water here. We also saw him making use of the return spell so we won't need to walk out of the castle and he starts saving time.
Yeah, return is a wonderful thing. It saves us so much time. He wants to walk out of the castle, you can just bust through the roof.
That's why the king takes our gold when we die, because
he needs
to keep blasting holes in his roof to leave.
Speaking of gold, now that we've acquired pretty much everything we need, gold is essentially trivial. We will not be saving up for the flame sword or the silver shield.
Oh no, the flame sword though.
Lotus sword is stronger. We'll make do with the steel sword until we get that.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, you can save up for it if you want. You're the one playing the game. I know. It's totally not.
What if I die to Axe Knight and then get so much gold in the grind that I go and buy Flame Sword and then... Nah, never mind.
Yeah.
Could though. Flame Sword's only like 9,800, I think. Only.
Hey, you could. The problem is it's still like out of the way.
42.
Fourth dragon of our loop.
And one more. There we go.
Star's not going to be concerned with his HP at the end of this fight. We're actually going to need more keys to continue doing this dragon. We need to spend a key time to unlock the door to fight the dragon, so... Did get a pretty good dragon, though.
Yeah, I was going to say for the for the dragon whose HP post-dragon matters the least, I got the best so far.
Yeah. It's still helpful to not have to spend the extra turn healing. You save yourself a couple seconds.
If you do just so happen to have like really low single-digit HP or something, it's better to actually just like die in the swamp. Because then you don't have to do all this.
Return.
Yeah, like that way you don't have to do all this like roundabout kind of like it's a little quicker. But that's
you know,
if it happens.
You can just walk right up past the store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. So he's made sure to save one key to get to the key store, of course. He's going to buy 6 keys. That's the most we can hold. We really only need 5 for the rest of the game, but if something does go wrong, he's going to want the extra key. The extra for bad luck, as I like to call it. Just in case you hit some bad luck.
And it kind of sets you up the same way that it does with Golem, where if you get bad luck inside a Charlock, you just save, and then you can just keep loading that save, and hopefully you're level 18 already.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully you don't get the nice early bounce, because Axe Knight puts you to sleep, and Bopo just decides he's really tired. Or in this case, Suta!
Suta!
First battle in the castle. Get killed by Axe.
Love it.
Yep, I've been there.
Same.
Axe Knight really hates Diener for some reason, though.
Yeah. He's got an axe to grind, you could say.
Uh-huh.
You know what? I'm not afraid of him.
Why would you be? You're a pile of meat. Piles of meat aren't afraid of anything. After Axe Knight somehow Kaishins you 50 times.
If he could, he would have. Died in every conceivable way. Getting ambushed, missing. Getting killed in 3 hits. That's a good one.
Alright. This is really the only, quote, risky dragon. So 20, 43.
This is the final risky dragon, because after this one he's going to hit level 14, at which point we're just so fast that there's a very, very, very slim chance of the dragon outspeeding us. Needless to say, I've died to the last dragon because I've had like 13 HP and then been outsped on a few occasions. And it makes you really sad, but it's something you can't really plan for. Because trying to plan for it just ends up with you having more HP to walk off for normally no reason.
We bank against, like, at most a 5 or so % chance of Dragon having initiative on that second level 13 Dragon, but sometimes he gets it. There was one turn during that fight right there where he went first, and I was like, yep, that's what he can do.
Yep.
And if he does that on the turn you decide to be at, like, 4 HP and
when you're going in at 12 and you get killed, yep. Happens to me all the time. I still think that if you're going to be aggressive, it's like, should take that risk.
Oh yeah, you should just take the risk anyway. I mean, it's like, it's sub 10%.
It's something I think every Dragon Quest runner will experience. Sometimes you're playing the odds right, but your number is just up.
Or Dragon Lord decides to outspeed you.
That's the kind of thing I mean. It's just like sometimes I know it's improbable, but as long as the probability is not zero, I'm going to see something. The length of the run and how many different possible things can happen. Almost always guaranteed to see something new and each time you play. That's one of the things I really enjoy about Dragon Quest. As a speed game. So Stars, after 5 dragons here, he's got 2 more to go. He stopped by in the vault. Now that he's got room for his stuff, the quest items he needs, the dragon scale, which he's going to put back on. And he's going to fight more dragons.
And at this point,
precise.
You would think the dragon scale is relatively minor, but 5 defense can very much mean the difference between life and death.
Oh, it's huge
break some damage ranges for us.
The already kind of simple math to count dragon HP is pretty much invalidated at this point. As I just have to watch for numbers that are, as long as I'm like averaging over like at 25 or over on each hit, I know how many hits it'll take to kill him on 14, and I am virtually guaranteed initiative at level 14, so things are basically just fine.
Virtually.
I think it's like sub 1%, if even that.
Do you not heal before going in?
Nope, I forgot. Whatever.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I'm like, 80 HP doesn't look right.
No, there's no fight.
That's why I don't like getting no fight. Technically, it's
There we go.
alright. You don't lose time from not getting a fight, but it's... You expect the fight so much that when you don't actually get it, you just don't even worry about it.
I mean, when it comes to like fighting a level 14 dragon, like it's whatever. I can just do what I need to. Like I just healed and everything worked out. I was getting low damage rolls, so that actually kind of helped.
If you get high damage rolls, you can just keep swinging. If you aren't as lucky, probably stop and sure you won't die.
Yeah, if you have good rolls at this point, and you have full HP, then you can just hold X and you will kill the dragon and have critical HP, and that's the power of the dragon scale here.
Yeah.
Of course, what I really need a fight for is that extra 14 experience that I'm missing from level 15.
Yeah. This loop is designed to get us right to level 15, but occasionally you end up coming about 10, in this case 14 experience short, so he'll just club one wimpy monster like a Maida or Scorpion or something in the cave to get that last bit.
I know bits and pieces of Japanese, and I know enough to read what I need to in this game, but I don't like legit know or speak Japanese. I'm super far from fluent, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I know video game Japanese.
Video games in general, like, part of your target audience is children. It's not like Japanese children just that are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old know all of the kanji. So most of it's hiragana and katakana that you'll have in video games, because it's simplified. It's their more simplistic form, and it's also easier to write. And trying to put all those kanji into the game, along with all of the hiragana and katakana, you're wasting a lot of space on old games like this that you could use for other things.
In particular, on Super Nintendo, the menus and stuff don't actually have the vertical space for kanji.
Yeah, not enough space to draw detailed characters in the menu. The text boxes, the dialogue boxes have a little bit more space to draw some, but their library isn't hugely robust.
5, 6, 7. Got it.
Generally speaking, most of the Western Dragon Quest are
Tonic's got it. I am a world-class Google Translate decryptor.
I love some of this stuff in Maru chart translation.
Google Translate sometimes seems like it's a language all in itself.
I love running things.
It's a skill.
One of my favorite things to do is to run the same thing through Google Translate like 4 times and keep translating it back and forth and see what ends up coming out at the end, and if anything is anywhere near like what started out, and it never is.
Whoops, forgot to cast Repel.
Yeah, kanji is a lot of work because it's a slightly more archaic form. Kanji has existed much longer than hiragana or katakana.
The cool thing about it though is that if what I found personally is if you don't necessarily know all of the characters in a sentence, but if you recognize some of the kanjis, because they're representative of ideas rather than sounds, you can oftentimes interpret the general idea of what's being talked about or going on.
Mnemonics are really, really good for kanji.
If you recognize a few of the characters, then you can get the gist of what's going on sometimes a lot more naturally than in English. If you hit a word you don't know, then I mean, you might be able to pronounce it, and yes, of course, you can determine some meaning through context.
Yeah, kanji is based a lot on Mandarin Chinese as well.
Yeah. So there we go. Traded our silver harp we got for the Staff of Rain. Just need Roto's token in order to get the rainbow drop that we need to get to the final dungeon. So now that we're all leveled up, we're trained up to level 15, that gives us a good chance of defeating Akuma no Kishi, the Axe Knight.
It is time
guarding.
for the most skillful part of the game by far.
We have a very complex strategy for the Axe Knight. We're going to heal up to full health before we fight him, then we're going to get into battle with him, and then we're pretty much going to hold X and keep attacking and hope we win.
I'm going to put a drinking duck on A for suspense.
If the Axe Knight does not cast the sleep spell and we get decent initiative turn orders, then we'll be fine. If he casts sleep spell and it misses, then we'll be fine. If he casts sleep and we fall asleep, then we die. Most of the time. We have to wake up immediately, otherwise it's a big problem. Overall, I'd say the probability of beating tonight is probably 70 to 80%.
It's around there, yeah.
The sleep will get you killed, but half the time sleep just ends up helping you out. Half the time you get killed.
My MP is taking a bit of a beating.
Yeah, getting encounters here is
That'll affect the Chimera being the encounters I got outside is kind of annoying.
Yeah. Sleep is still really helpful to use before we have Roto's armor. It'll actually save more MP than fighting it out in the need.
Here we go! Strategy!
Yeah, this fight's
strategy!
very, very difficult. We have to do a very specific thing, and that thing is
strategy
shoulder button or any of the face buttons where we have turbo, because you'll just keep attacking. And in this case, it didn't work out.
My strategy failed.
But the only thing you can really do in this fight is just spam attack. If you end up in a situation where you're behind, if you really want to, you can try and spam heal and hope that he whiffs asleep. But he's probably just going to kill you either way, and all you're doing is wasting time. So we just hold attack, and we hope.
It didn't work out there. Akuma Senpai.
My hopes fell on deaf ears.
Akuma cast Radio. And you
Trash can
died.
Senpai.
Yeah, this guy is kind of a jerk. Fortunately, since we did want the dragon to reappear, getting killed by the Axe Knight does get rid of the princess for us, so that's kind of okay. And it isn't a too long of a walk back to fight the Axe Knight again. It's about a little less than 2 minutes. We have Repel to get through most of this stuff.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
And some of the other encounters that we get when Repel wears off, most of them can still be killed pretty easily with the Steel Sword, and the experience we accumulate is going to help us out to a degree. So he's just going to keep trying again and again to...
it's Game Boy's best friend.
Oh, Game Boy loves that guy.
The good news... The good news for Star, though, is also dying has replenished his MP, so coming up for the grind segment, hopefully, provided he actually is able to win the battle this time, he'll have more
I can
MP
basically
to
take,
work
as
with.
long as I don't take more than one death, I can take back some of this time by not having to worry about death warping.
Yeah, the first death to Axe Knight is actually one of the least impactful deaths that we can have.
You're amazing, Akuma Senpai.
He's so fast.
He really is fast.
Oh! Oh, I thought you were laughing because he whiffed the sleep and you were gonna kill him. Oh
and then
no!
I didn't. Oh, that's the best.
Oh no, Axe Knight. Why?
So Akuma Senpai actually almost grasped defeat from the mouth of victory and then proceeded to just outspeed Star, which, in general, we should go before him.
He defeated you in 3 hits, didn't he?
Yeah, Tonic's got a point. He rolled up real nice too, and I rolled pretty bad. And Pop.
That was the that was the killing blow. But because he both outspeeded you and rolled excellent damage rolls, he actually still killed
God,
you.
yeah.
That actually, I think, is a
I've had
new
that
one.
happen like one other time. That was basically the best Axe Knight.
Maybe
Well,
Iron
After I
Armor
was training for the
chart.
marathon.
Iron Armor chart would have been worth it.
No, never.
Still wouldn't have been worth it.
I hate Iron Armor. Oh man, so if anybody out there is really interested in deeply strategic games like this,
We make a joke of it, but yeah, this can be kind of a
actually, yeah, this game's pretty tight for what it is.
for
There's
a
a lot
game
of
where
little things.
you only have one character. That actually makes the variables actually very tight. So there are
I'll
many
tell you one
instances.
thing, I did not give enough respect to the very beginning of the run, like the level 1 to 4 grind stuff.
I
Like,
was
at first I was like, yeah, you just like fight these things, right? And you do the whatever, and then there's so many little things because your HP is so low.
so used to DQ3 and its flexibility. You really have to pay very close attention to those heal lines. It's like you got this much HP, you should do this. If you got 1 hit point less, that's a different strategy entirely. Very
Like,
specific.
The amount of experience I had in particular zones, stuff like that.
Yeah, the where the encounter lines actually are to
Akuma Senpai, please! I couldn't actually comment on whether it is or isn't tighter than Paper Mario. It feels tight to me.
Okay. Sounds like we got him this time. He missed a sleep spell. That's always... Oh, he missed 2. He still had to get 1 more hit in on there.
Yep.
What a guy. Okay, so we've got
Nice
Roto's
punishment.
armor. Roto's armor, or Erdrick's armor, if you're familiar with Dragon Warrior, is the best suit of armor we get in this. Not only does it have the best defensive value, it's got a few other cool properties too. It makes us immune to damage tiles. It reduces the damage we suffer from breath attacks. Makes a big impact against Dragon Lord, obviously. And we actually recover HP for each half tile that we move across the game. So anywhere, this applies anywhere, on the overworld, in town, and in the dungeon. So, and since this game, we talked about it as half tiles, and it's actually giving us 1 hit point per half tile in this, effectively making it twice as effective as the original or in the Game Boy Color version, have full tile.
Well,
Tiro, if we didn't die to Axe Knight and
crap.
therefore we would still need
okay.
to die at another point, you just take the armor off and you can walk in a swamp and die.
yeah,
This-
there's only one death warp after Roto's armor anyway, and it's over in the swamp. And since I got killed by Axe Knight anyway, I'm not gonna have to do it.
Yeah, he's going to take advantage of having more MP. We need 28 MP for all of our little spells to cast Return and then walk down to get Rainbow Drop, and then make our way to Rimeldar so we can actually start our final trek. But before that, we have a nice, 15-ish minutes of grinding.
Yep, this is...
It's not Dragon Quest without random enemy grinding.
While the grinding is highly minimized in this version, this run, we pretty much move from objective to objective pretty quickly. We do need to reach level 18 to fight the dragon, so we're going to want to reach approximately level 17, maybe a little bit before, maybe a little after. It depends on how stars.
I'll tend to go time-based, basically. Like, oh, I want to leave Melchido between 8 minutes and 8 minutes and 30 seconds from the point at which I reach level 16.
Yeah, and you won't have to worry about death warping or anything as soon as you're ready to go.
generally by then
bounce
we've got
your way back.
totally close enough.
Hmm.
Rikanto surprised me.
Oh boy.
Metaru, yeah, Metaru ran away. Metaru hunting is a good thing to talk about, though, even though I am completely outside of the ability to get any more.
Yeah,
they
no
more opportunity for medals.
Yeah, they don't show up in this encounter. There are only, I think, 2 encounter zones that they actually can show up at 1 and 5 to appear. There's an alternative to the Dragon Loot category that's called Silver Harp Hunting that utilizes some frame manipulation stuff and the Silver Harp to force encounters with Metal Slime. And then we use another technique, which is allowed in this category as well if we encounter Metal Slime. Again, it's a frame manipulation so that we can ensure that we at least hit the Metal Slime for 1 damage. We have no control if the slime stays or runs. He's got to stick around long enough for us to chip him away 1 damage at a time. They can have up to 4 hit points, or get a critical hit and kill it immediately. So, category, we don't use that mechanic, but that is one alternative method to leveling up.
There is a related mechanic that we use to actually hunt the metals, and it's one of the only bits of manipulation that's actually allowed in this category, or in any really.
Mm-hmm.
It's well, yeah, in this category. Is the even odd frame technique. When you hit a metal slime, we have the we got our message speed on 8, which is actually slowest. I basically, like, when you fight a metal slime, you just start the fight, and you want to hold A. And then, depending on what happens next, either you hit it, and during the hit animation, you can let go of A really briefly, and then hold it again, and it's really loose, like, it's really easy to do. Or you miss and you keep holding it. And then on the next turn, if you missed, you will still hit it. And you're going to proceed through the fight pretty slowly, but you're always going to hit the metal slime for 1 damage, because what happens is whenever an enemy has so much defense that you can't possibly damage it, like with a regular attack, the game flips a coin in that frame of memory, based on whether it's, it's odd or even, to see whether or not you either miss it or you hit it for 1 damage. So we pretty much manipulate just that spot to be able to hit it for 1 point every turn. We can't keep it from, like, running away. We can't force them to spawn unless you're playing harp hunting or whatever. You just keep trying to hit it.
Yeah,
and it's either got 3 or 4 HP, and so you just pray.
It's a method that if we do bump into him, which we can't control, but if we do encounter him, then we're increasing the chances we kill him. He has to stick around long enough for us to kill him. Or if you get lucky critical hit, he dies.
To be honest, I actually don't know too much about, like, full any percent. I kind of watched the video. I mostly just trusted that Yagamu was Yagamu. And that he absolutely finished that game without being, like just being Yagamu in any percent.
Is a god.
Oh my god, yeah, he's the best harp hunter by far.
So yeah, this does have full manipulation like the NES version does. But
his record is like
38, 39 something? Or is it still just over 40? I thought it got under.
No, he took it. It's a low 30 or so.
Is it?
Because he took it down by 11 minutes. He completely rerouted it.
So yeah, it's relatively close to the NES one, but unlike the NES version, we can't actually put the Dragon Lord to sleep in this. So they actually have to do healing like you'll see us do, where we have specific heal lines.
The closest thing you'll find to an English version of this particular version is the Game Boy Color version.
Yes, the Game Boy
Color.
No... Yeah, the Game Boy Color.
Like Tonic said, there's no official version.
Yeah.
There's no official English version of this one. And if you're looking at the speed run, you will find major differences that I personally don't enjoy on mobile platforms and PS4.
And 3DS.
And 3DS. Is it on 3DS too? Damn.
Mm-hmm. I think it took like another week for 3DS to come out, but it did. But yeah, there's the mobile versions are really bad. I run PS4 as a meme and purely as a meme, and by which I mean I've ran it like 3 times, and I'll probably only ever run that on April Fools, or if I put it in as like a bad game for a marathon. But yeah, the Game Boy version's really, really nice, except for the way the menu works. The difference is they actually, when they do Dragon Loop, they kill the dragon 15 times compared to our 8. Because they don't have to pick up the princess.
Or the other issue is the full tile. They don't have half tiles, so Roto's armor doesn't heal us as efficiently, so grinding out here in the Melchido Strong Zone is not as...
Oh yeah, Roto's armor is strictly worse.
Yeah, this
and it makes the last dungeon a lot worse too.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only version that the armor does what this does. Every other version, it's half as strong.
Mobile version, you get to take like 4 steps for every one you normally would, though, because your dude is like 4 times bigger than the world.
In this version, we'll be going setting out to the final dungeon about level 17, hoping to get level 18 along the way down. So we'll be using Roto's half tile to actually heal us up enough in between battles to keep fighting the dangerous Charlotte Castle. Yeah, there is a fan translation of this SFC part, the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 SFC. It, however, has some issues. For various reasons, most of them have to do with storage capacity anyway. But there are some known issues with it. I don't recommend the Dragon Lord doesn't, or defeating the Dragon Lord in this version doesn't actually replenish your MP for some reason.
You just have to get a Chimera Wing, I guess, but mostly the text is actually that much slower.
Yeah, indeed.
Like, I remember, so Sergeant Matul used to run just like the English version for a while, and we were like doing some comparison, and like just your talking with the king earlier in the game is like 10 seconds longer or something. And how many times do you talk to the king?
A few.
Just a couple.
We only get ourselves killed like 10 times. Yeah, I like to joke about it. In DQ3, I also used to use the English patch version, which can be very helpful for a runner if you're not familiar with Japanese. Get you at least familiar with how things are going to be playing out. But I used to joke that, yeah, the king's dialogue in DQ3, it's almost 30 seconds. His spiel about Baramos at the beginning.
Oh my god.
And I joke that's the reason I switched to Japanese version. I was tired of listening to the king.
There's multiple people in the community that practice plenty on English before stepping up to JP, and absolutely got used to it that way, and we're totally fine.
That's
I've made plenty of cheat sheets for quick references of like the stuff that you need to know.
Yeah, I would not be overwhelmed by the knowledge you would actually have to run this game. It's very minimal. Like
it's like maybe 6 or 7 turns.
You will spend more time learning the run itself than you will actually having Japanese to play.
Okay, well, other than generally needing a bunch of experience right now, and this is the quickest way to get it, I'm hanging out like in the north of this area, primarily because that way I can quickly step to the grass where there's a lower encounter rate to heal up with Roto's armor in case I get really low.
Yeah, so this area of the overworld has this, both has a nice combination. It has hills tiles, which have a much higher encounter rate than other overworld tiles, and it has the strongest overworld monsters that are worth the most experience. We just keep fighting these guys here until we're about level 17, and then we'll be ready to move on to the final dungeon. If we do need to heal up, if we do take some damage, Star will be walking to the north in the grass and using the half-tile technique and Roto's armor to heal himself up. We talked about the half-tiles not counting towards your threat level, towards the next encounter, but Roto's armor still heals you. We really take advantage of it to help keep our HP in good shape throughout the final dungeon.
And the fun thing is we can also, because there's actually a like double half tile that you can do there, where you just walk in a little circle, and almost half of your steps you can't get encounters. Conveniently, you can also do that right off of the Dragon Lord's throne to heal. And unless you're like me, and I kept getting fights with our good friend Shinigami Senpai, who is very annoying and likes to deal lots of damage, you can heal pretty fast there.
So who's on the mic? I'm Starofviolence. I'm doing the run. And
I'm glad it's 951. I also play the video game sometimes.
Sumdiener here, fan of Dragon Quest RTA.
these guys are good enough to help me talk because I'm bad at talking while I play this game.
Totally.
Although
fine.
right now is a much more relaxed situation because I can just walk around. So
yeah, for the most part, it's just walk back and forth and hold turbo.
yeah, other than Star Chimeras, which can be a flowchart, but they're not even a bad flowchart. It's kind of like, okay, if heal more, hit once, then put to sleep, then hit 2 more times. Everything else is just hold X until it dies and make sure your HP is high enough.
This is the Super Famicom version, Dragon Quest 1 and 2, which you can own your very own card of Dragon Quest 1 and 2. All you need to do is donate at least $5 during this or any of the other games in this block to be eligible for that prize. Go do it.
And then if you win, you can talk to someone. There's a very large number of us in this Dragon Quest Discord that we will gladly teach you the speedrun.
Yeah, this is a great...
Yeah, you can also own your own car, but the car's not included. You'll get a cart, and you can go to a car dealership and you can buy a car, and then you'll have a car and a cart.
Yeah, now if you want to win a car, you have to speedrun Hollywood Squares.
the true RTA and test of skill compared to this totally luck-based game.
I see.
Our good friend Jerkbird here is doing what he does best by healing himself.
Oh, yeah.
And taking a fight that can be finished in 2 turns and forcing it to about minimum 5.
So here's a fun bit about these guys. Any enemy can spawn with between 80 and 100% of its max HP. So, but when Star Chimera casts Heal More, it's absolutely going to be at 100% of its HP from there, which you cannot take down with 2 hits from your sword. So you have to be clever with the sleep.
No, in this game, there's no party members. This was one of the first true JRPGs, so
yeah, this was pretty. This pretty much laid the groundwork for the rest of them, and there wasn't a party. It was just one hero versus the world.
Yep. Just Bopo fighting away.
This is more or less.
Paw.
Why do you call him Bopo? You don't even use Bopo. You use
just,
Ai.
It's just the canonical name for me at this point. It's a much more.
I love Ai because
flows off the tongues better.
It's true. I love Ai because Ai is the noise that everybody makes when they run to Hugh. Ai.
Basically.
Yeah, Dragon Quest II gives you a party, though most of the time it's just lore carrying coffins around. There's a million differences between this and the NES version.
I want to change my Sama Box emote to Moonbach. Have her die more lately.
Can I get an emote for Moon breaks all of my rings and I hate her? Clear Tonic, please return to DQ3. That would make me so happy.
Come on, Tonic.
Alternately, teach me DQ4 PS1 and we can race that. You teach him, you'll probably.
All right, don't forget. Did you get the princess?
Oh crap!
No, get back in the cave.
Oh, I hope the door's not locked, or I'll have to go buy more keys. No, wait.
You wouldn't have to unless.
If you die in Castle, you'd have to.
Yeah.
You could always grab one here in Rimmildar while we're here.
Actually, no. You need to buy a backup. Because if you die in Castle, then you'd have to go to Rimmildar.
Well, you're gonna have to go to Rimmildar.
Easy. I'm just not gonna die. Then I'm just not gonna die.
There you go. Yeah, if we could get to the halfway mark during this run, that would really help us out. Also, I want Panty's donation met while I'm here, because that would make me happy.
We are currently at $80 out of the $250 incentive to get Curly's panties in Cave Story. So that run is coming up in just a little while, later on tonight. So if you want to have that incentive met, make sure you get your donations in now, and you can also enter yourself to win the DQ 1 and 2 cart, which is the cart that's being played right now, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, if you donate $25 or more cumulative over the whole entire marathon, you're entered in to win the grand prize, which is a Super Famicom and Super Donkey Kong 1, 2, and 3. So that's a pretty sweet prize.
That's a whole lot of donkey.
For $25 cumulative over the marathon, so you can maximize your chances of winning prizes by spreading out your donations, or you can just drop it all in one, hit a big incentive, maybe get yourself a file name for one of the runs later on. Pretty much all sorts of stuff you can donate for.
All right, it's
Well,
almost time.
I do lie. It's what I'm known for, amongst other things.
We're on the way to the final dungeon here on Dragon Quest. Just gotta pick up our rainbow drop. We brought the Stones of Sunlight, the Staff of Rain, and Roto's token to trade in for the rainbow drop. We'll build a bridge to the final dungeon. There's still one more item we're gonna want to get in the castle itself. The Roto sword, the strongest weapon in the game. Very good.
I've been streaming off and on for like somewhere between 2 and 3 years. Oh, I forgot to cast Repel.
Man, imagine a time of running DQ2 before talking to Pop. That had to be a very dark time.
My first run was 7 hours long.
I'm grateful for all the hard work you put into the chart that you made.
That then got demolished because Pop is like, all of this is wrong.
Well, it is, but
for helping me get started there.
Why are these levels so low?
Nothing better. I did notice that I was always above the level that you did.
It was very great when Pop was like, why aren't you getting more levels? And I'm like, but the chart says this is all I need. And he's like, no. I'm like,
go fight.
Dragon Quest II is a notoriously difficult game, and Star used a notoriously difficult chart of a game that's already hard because he was just so used to getting beaten up that it didn't feel any different to him anymore. And trying to learn off that was bad, but we fixed it since.
We've made a lot of improvements, and having more than one person actually playing it helped too.
Yeah.
More than one Western player, I should say. There are plenty of Japanese Dragon Quest runners, all the different games. It's very popular in Japan, the series as a whole.
Where did you go, Pelican City?
To my knowledge, the Dragon Quest series is one of the most popular speedrun games for Japanese runners, and from what I've heard, it's as popular as SM64 is here. Basically,
Dragon Quest 3 in particular is far and away the most popular and most competitive category for years and years and years.
If you
can
can
have
have
an opportunity to talk about
it's a big deal.
How Japan got started speedrunning in the first place, which was with stuff like Dragon Quest 7 in 2001. Like they had a
15-hour game.
They had a club at Tokyo University that was called something like the Extreme Capture Group. And they used to do like low-level challenges and stuff that they sold guides for at Comic-Con. And after a time, they started actually they pretty much cooked up RTA, and the challenges they were doing in the beginning were stuff like finishing Dragon Quest 7 in one day, or trying to finish Dragon Quest 1 through 5 in one day. And this was like so far back.
Yeah, this
so
would
far
have been.
back.
Yeah,
their version of Dragon Quest 7 is almost under 10 hours.
Oh god.
What? It's like I think it's like 10:45 now, That game is like 100 hours your first playthrough easy. And that's not even with like post-game.
I think it took me close to 90 the first time I played it, yeah. Alright, here we go. We've made it to the final castle. As I said before, he's going to be grinding his way up to level 18. Most of the monsters are the same, but he's bumped into a few of these...
It's up 13? I thought they had like an 11. It might be a different category.
These, the Axe Knight guys on the earlier floors. They are mostly fine. Star's been fighting them. You can run away from them. It's possibly a little bit safer. Star's looking to get that experience. Really, they're just dangerous if they put you to sleep. That's a big problem.
I can't even believe that somebody would actually grind hero only to get it under 4 hours.
I don't want to play hero only. You can't.
You know what else?
Me.
You could grind out 250 in probably less time than that.
Regular Dragon Quest III is plenty of excitement for me. Thanks. Plenty of a headache for me. Thanks.
These Axe Knights are pretty intent on making me fight them, so
plentiful
I'm glad
axe.
I just decided to start. Yeah,
You would have
I've seen
had
like
to
two enemies that aren't Axe Knight.
Yeah, you would have had to start. Tough Fugai. No lazy heroes here. Alright.
You should do what Pop does and run Brave Hero. I'm sure that would not bite you at all in solo hero.
Hero only? No, I don't think so either.
I'm sure it'll go perfectly fine. Also, I love the Brave Hero chart. I think when I learn the game, I want to learn Brave Hero.
Lazy hero for life. Star taken out of the stone man there. Now that we moved down here, I should have mentioned the encounters have changed again. The stone man shows up. He's really difficult to defeat without Roto's sword, but it's okay. He's got one. As well as the blue dragon, which is a fairly common monster, 40% encounter rate. They're worth the most experience and generally the best thing to see. Of course, the Axe Knight and the Archmage are still here, the other, rounding out the rest of the encounter. The blue dragon takes up 2 of the slots. He's at 40% encounter.
Yeah, these guys are beating me up.
Yeah, it took a nice bite out of you.
There's a nice stop spell casting wizard.
That's exactly what you needed.
That is totally fine.
Walk it off. We want to save all of our MP if we can to fight the Dragon Lord. So we've brought those medical orbs with us to help us heal when we need to. We're going to rely on Roto's armor to heal us for the most part, but after a battle, if our HP is too low, then it's way too risky to try and walk. We've got to stop and heal up with them.
Yeah, you got relatively low MP. He has 2 bonus MP over the minimum, which means he has 1 bonus MP. We want 96. We can end up with 95, which means you automatically have lost a heal more for the final fight.
So I rolled 344.
Yeah.
Which is great, and everyone loves to walk without a heal more. It's so much fun. We definitely don't need all of them. But if you get 2 bonus, you can get a sleep, which is really nice. You can get 3 bonus, and then you can have a heal or a sleep. Or you can get 4 bonus, and you end up with the ever lovely 2 sleeps, which is my favorite thing to end up with. Because that's 2 stone men I can kill with very little threat.
So we're carrying the princess with us. It was Stone Age incentive to bring the dragon or bring the princess with us to fight the Dragon Lord. I believe there's like a little extra line of dialogue. We just got Roto's sword, Erdrick's sword in the English version, Dragon Warrior. That's the strongest weapon in the game. We're equipping it in battle there. It's, as is the usual case, it's actually faster to do most things in battle than in the field menu. So we'll just
Yeah, we're not dumping the princess in the mud. What it is she really cares about the infrastructure inside of her kingdom. She sees all this swamp, and she wants to build a bridge, but the only material she has is her own body. So she ever so kindly lets us use her as a building material to build a bridge, so that all of the people can make it through the swamp without getting hurt. So they're not all heroes like us. Keith, what are you doing, Keith? Don't be that
Keith.
guy.
Oh god.
Yeah, there's some
This
fun
battle
translation
frequency.
on there. I like Kiss Dragon. I don't like when he's chewing on my face though. Oh no. Wow.
What a jerk.
So that sucks.
Okay.
He had to use a heal more. He would have died if he didn't. So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
better to
could have.
keep going, but
Yeah, I don't know if it was better to like try and run at 75% or cast heal more.
I mean,
It is.
I run, so that's probably the wrong idea.
I think in this case, burning that heal more first is the better call. I've seen Pop burn 2 heal mores in an effort to make it all the way down to the basement, and then still get bullied by Stoneman and Shinigami so badly he can't heal up. So I think using 1 heal more is okay. It feels kind of grimy, but it's usually okay.
It's better if you don't have to, but it's also better to live
it's
than
always
die.
it's always better to have more HP, but yes, it's always better to not die. Coming back.
Shinigami.
Yeah, so now we get to see our good friend Shinigami Senpai, and if he heals after any turn that's not the first turn, and if we fight him with not full health, we have to run, because it just becomes a battle of attrition if he gets to heal, and it's unwinnable. He will kill you at that point.
It's a battle of attrition from the beginning, but he doesn't have to worry about running out of MP for heal more.
Mm-hmm. He can just heal for days if he just keeps altering.
Dasu
Ooh,
Dragon.
We've got the Dasu Dragon, the red dragon. He's worth more experience than any other random monster, except for the metal slime, 350. And because of his scripted attack pattern, is actually a fairly harmless monster. Throw to sword, he's almost always slam dunk. Take very little damage, get a ton of experience. He's basically just a big experience pinyon. We beat him up, take his point.
Yeah, the NES community has deemed Dosh Dragon to be the fun police, which we agree with, because in our game, he just hands out ice cream tokens to all the girls to make sure that they have all of the fun in the world. In the NES version, he massacres you and walks
Here,
about
he enforces
his business.
fun.
Yeah, he's grown up a little bit. He's become a better police officer at this point. Now he understands that he needs to make the community a better place, and his job is not to harass the community.
Right. Needs just a little bit more experience. He's going to be trying to beat whatever he can find. Oh, nice dodge.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. There we go.
There's
I know.
level 18.
I know pretty much no nouns or no names of any colors, so I can't help you with that. My Japanese is mainly limited to Taimatsu because it haunts my soul.
All right. We're level 18. We'll be going up against the Dragon Lord. This is a 2-phase fight. First phase is like a human wizard form. We're really got to be careful how many times we fall asleep or how many times he heals himself. We want to defeat the Dragon Lord with at least 55 HP left at the end of the battle. So we're going to be keeping track of how much damage we dealt so that we end the fight. Survive.
We need to count to 7 here, but he also likes to make us subtract 2. And if he makes us subtract 2 more than twice, then we have to maybe bump it up to 8. Things become a little bit sketcy at that point. We don't really get to know where we are.
Difficult. Yeah, it gets more difficult to predict.
Okay. This isn't too bad.
65 MP and 101 HP it's pretty nice. It's near average for MP. HP, it's a little bit higher than mine. I normally end in the 90s if things are going well.
So he's finished the first fight. The second fight has a 4-turn attack rotation. We have specified heal lines. As long as we stay above those, then we won't actually die. The problem is we might run out of MP before the Dragon Lord dies. In which case, we're pretty much pretty much toast. This is why we've saved all of our MP and our medical herbs if we can help it, so that we have as much MP and stuff as we can get to fight here. As long as we have a lot of MP, it should be easy. Start making use of the medical herbs, the heal spell to heal himself up above those HP lines I talked about. As long as he's above those, he can keep fighting. If not, he needs to stop.
Nice Good.
Good stuff.
Nice Kaishin no Ichigeki.
Wonderful. So for level 17 Dragon Lord, the Kaishin was entirely necessary, but we did 18, so it wasn't. So it just saves us a bunch of turns and is very nice. Pretty much assures the win at 18. Versus 17, it makes the win possible, but not even assured.
Nice Kaishin to slay the Dragon Lord. Good run, Star.
Yeah, that was nice.
And we brought the princess with us too, so we've got to take her with us at the end. Don't forget that.
Enjoy this lovely bonus lag when the princess comes back down the staircase. And the game just cannot handle it.
One more sprite.
Be like, oh no! I'm just gonna trudge harder than her through the mud when we drag her face first into it.
All right. Great job. Good run.
Here we go. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, it's so hard. Oh, moving hurts. Look at how much it hurts.
Oh, yeah. Gurgle.
So now we're gonna see some stuff that we never did. Like, I have no clue where he is right now. I've never been there.
Yeah, I've never seen that tablet before, and I don't want to.
Here we're just standing in town for some reason.
Getting a puff.
Yeah, here's gonna go get a puff from this small child. And we're gonna enjoy the pond before we go buy keys. Where the in-game credits actually take advantage of the half step to make sure that they get to talk to him. He can't just move out of the way. For some reason, he came back in here, even though he already had the harp. I don't know what's up with that. I have no clue where this is. I guess it's somewhere in
1 minute
Melty.
Dragon Loop is pretty decent.
Ooh, nice, solid. That's very, very solid Dragon Loop.
Yeah. Overall, the crappy stuff cost like a good 7 minutes or so.
2
on
golems,
this
2
run.
axe
So
knights.
this is pretty good for that happening.
It's
Like,
exactly twice what I said was going to happen.
I was ahead of averages 2 minutes in Garai's Tomb, and then was behind like 2.5 after Golem because of deaths and stuff. And then Devil Knight took me down even harder. So given all that stuff, this went pretty damn well.
Yep. So JRTA timing is the end of the credit. So
We love our JRTA, in part because of our lovely friend Turbo. That every RPG should use.
Basically, when the music ends and the end is displayed, it's time.
So coming up here in just a second.
Just gonna
And time.
Nice.
And now we know that having Laura with you for the ending adds 14 seconds.
Oh, terrible.
Mm.
And almost all of
Anyway.
it's in the lag walking.
So that's a 144.30. Nice run.
Very nice.
Nice. Thank you.
Yes, nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you mentioned the time there. 144.31 is what I had. I think I heard 30.
Yeah.
Mine's right. I've got a 144.24 on my own timer.
Nice.
It's all pretty close, yeah.
I think the rule of thumb is to always take the lowest time you hear. So we'll go with that.
There you go. We want that
World record plays extremely aggressively and is a 116 and change.
It's very much worth watching because it's insane and it's quite a bit different than what we did. We did what we call the race chart, which a little bit safer.
Yeah, there's a lot of safety built into this chart that I just ran.
Mhm.
A lot of
Yeah.
safety.
When we race, we typically do with this style of chart with the level 18 dragon. Once you're an expert player, then you can start adding more risk, and the biggest risk doing the level 17 dragon, which does save a lot of time, but is
Yeah.
not
Like,
likely.
figure the amount of time you don't spend grinding over in those mountains for a level 17 Dragon Lord. Like all the time you spend grinding for around somewhere between 3 and 4,000 experience.
It's almost 8 minutes.
But yeah,
Closer
it
to
is
9 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, you do spend a good like 8+ minutes there just grinding that. So if you beat him at level 17, you can expect around an 8-minute cut.
Problem is, you're just not very likely to beat him in the first place at level 17.
Yeah, you like have to crit for him too. Basically, it's mandatory, or you're not going to have enough damage to outpace him.
Mm-hmm. Your strength
like,
actually,
little MP.
your strength gets...
Dragon Lord 1 actually takes more hits in general. Like he tends to take 8 hits instead of the 7. And you're just doing less damage, and yeah, it's pretty messy. I feel like I would want to like actually sit down and practice level 17 Dragon Lords just so I don't make mistakes with healing lines and stuff like that, even though I will hardly ever succeed in the actual practice itself. It's worth doing.
Awesome.
So,
thank you guys
for Dragon Quest 1. Thank you.
Here.
Yep.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here, guys. Actually, can you guys leave the stream up for just a second? I'm just going to say to everybody on the stream here, we're going to be switching restreamers. So the stream is going to go down temporarily, and it should be back up in just a minute or two here. So stick around. We're not, stream's not over by any means. We're just switching the setup here.
Yeah, don't go anywhere.
And when we come back, we will have, I believe, we've got Bomberman 64 coming up with Lively Raccoon.
I love that game.
Nice.
All right. Thanks again, Star, for the run, and to the commentary crew as well.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank all of y'all.
All right. We'll be back in just a bit here, guys.
Yep.